Hey fellas, let's finish our conversation on setting personal goals on leadership in life. Let's dive in.
So how does purpose in leadership kind of, right? Because in order to be an effective leader, you have to know what you're called to do. You have to know at least not necessarily, I don't think a leader always has to know exactly where you're going,
Mhm.
but you need to know the direction of where you're going, right? So how would you marry those two, leadership and purpose?
I would say, because we're talking about leadership and life,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Yep.
I believe all of us have the life purpose of glorifying God
Yes.
and uh, treating others well, right?
Mhm.
But it's how do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
What have you been called to do
Right.
in that space to be able to be an effective witness or a disciple for Christ? So for me, that purpose that I feel or that I know I've been called to do, it shows up in various ways.
Mhm.
Uh, and people may say, "Oh, I don't know what I've been called to do. I'm struggling with what my purpose is in life." Have you guys heard that?
Mhm.
I'm struggling with what my purpose is in life. Uh, People struggle with their purpose in life because they don't really realize or recognize or taking the time out to understand how God has blessed them
Okay.
in their life. Because it will
Yep.
show up, your gifts, your talents, and everything will show up,
Right.
whether it be in communication, whether it be physically,
Mhm.
whether it be in how you collaborate with people,
Mhm.
whether it be on your job, where people will tell you how you've impacted their
Man.
lives
Yeah.
if you've listened.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Right.
you start to hone in on that
Yeah.
and what that looks like. Then you start to get clarity,
Yeah.
because Catherine always says clarity is kindness, my wife.
Mhm.
When you start to get clarity, then you start moving.
Yeah.
You start really moving instead of just going. Because I remember before I understood exactly what I was designed and put on this earth to do, I was doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I was a jack of all trades.
Mhm.
I do everything,
Sure.
but a master of none.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But now I've whittled that down,
Right.
and now it's all aligned with what my gifts are and how I show up.
Man, that's deep.
So
Yeah.
I understand what my purpose is in life. So now I know how I can glorify God and how it can benefit others.
I think the gifts part is so important, right?
Mhm.
Because you so the Bible tells us that the gifts of God are without repentance.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially meaning it's not about you had to be saved to get a gift. Like God has distributed gifts to
Already.
everybody. It's just a matter of are you using your gifts to glorify his kingdom or using your gifts to glorify the enemy's kingdom, right? So when you begin to understand your gifts, it just makes operating in them a little bit easier, right?
Sure.
So I know for me, one of my gifts, so my name is Myron, right? Which kind of a root of that word is like from frankincense and myrrh. Myrrh being something that's
Mhm.
fragrant, right?
Mhm.
So a fragrance kind of changes the tone, changes the atmosphere, and it's a pleasing fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
My personality is I'm coming in smiling, I'm coming in laughing, I'm cracking jokes. Like
Right.
it's difficult to be a like just a down, mean, angry person in my presence. I'm just being honest because that's the gift that God has given me.
That's
Have
deep.
I always known that was a gift? Maybe I was like, man, I'm just goofy. I'm silly all the time. Can I be serious? I don't know how to turn it on and turn it off. But even in the workspaces, right? I recognize that there's times where things are kind of getting tense and the Lord will just bring it in. And it's like we serious and then boom, crack a joke, it breaks the ice, and then we get back to business. So I
Mhm.
know that's one of my gifts, right? So knowing your gift is important. And even in my home, that's a part of how I lead.
Yeah.
Right. I can sense like I'll use my daughter for example. So this morning going to church, she was like, hey, uh, I want to go and do this instead. And I was like, no, we're going to church. Say, but can I think it was like after church, could I stay home for a little bit or something like that? And I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. Why, Liam? I was like, we're not going to do that. But you just ignoring me? I said, no, I've already told you we're not going to do that. So we go to church, and then after church, she comes to me and she's like bubbly about something. And I just lean over and I say, so you're not mad at me anymore? She just starts smiling. And again, it's just one of those breaking the ice moments, right?
Right.
Being able to do that with my son, being able to do it with my wife, that's the gift that God has given me. And I love sharing that gift with everybody that I can come into contact with.
But that's interesting because you really understand what your name means, and so you operate in that,
Right.
Which is good. And I don't believe anyone's names is just by mistake.
Right.
I think there's significance in the name. So even with my name, I always think through what does that look like for me with my name being crazy, Carlos Lorenzo Green. There's 3 different nationalities,
Where you
countries.
from?
Lorenzo.
I know, right?
And you from
Carlos
Tennessee? In the
Lorenzo
sticks?
Green from Tennessee, right? That's crazy. So Carlos meaning strong, manly, Lorenzo meaning wisdom, and Green meaning a garden of youthful energy. And so how do I show
Right
up?
on. Spot on.
Him.
How do I
Shout
do
out
that?
to mom and pop.
Right. I don't know
They
what
made
she
you
was
right,
doing
baby.
with that. Okay. But I'm saying that when you recognize and understand what your name means, then you can show up as a leader appropriately
Right.
In that space.
in that space.
Yeah.
And some people have powerful names. I've spoken with so many men, and I challenge them, say, what does your name mean? What does that look like for you? Then how do you show up then? Are you showing up according to the name that was given to you by God? Yeah, your mom or dad may have named you,
Sure.
but this was already ordained for you.
Yeah.
So are you showing up in that space as the ordained name that you've been given?
That's good.
What does that look like?
Right. And being confident in that.
Being very confident in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would say for me, I think understanding my gift didn't come until later.
Yep.
You know what I
Same.
mean?
Yep.
Like in
Same.
hindsight, I can see like, okay, that's the reason why I would be the way that I was when I was younger. You know, so for instance, for most of you know that have been watching the podcast, I'm a licensed therapist in the state of Georgia. And so that's my profession. But when I was younger, I always talk to people, but then I would find them talking more to me.
Yeah.
So I always had that quality of being a great listener
Yep.
for as long as I could remember. When I was in middle school, I was part of what is called a peer, a peer counseling group.
Okay.
So it was about 9 of us. And our role was to be ready almost like on the spot. If there's anybody that needed some
That's
support
so good.
Middle school. That's
in
good.
middle school, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just listening. You don't have to give advice or feedback or anything like that, but sometimes, you know, you need a peer to talk to. And so I was one of those guys. You know, at the time I was just like, all right, you know, I just like to talk to people, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But now I'm looking back and I'm like, yeah, this is something that I've inhabited for a very long time.
Right.
So just knowing, I mean, I think sometimes we're trying to figure it out too much, but if you can kind of pinpoint the things that you're strong in,
Yeah.
and then God will give you more to that. He would feed more into that and what that looks like in your role as a leader, right? So I think that my just success in my profession has just come from when I was young, just always being in that space of listening, whether it be to my peers, my cousins, even my mom sometimes.
That's good.
You know?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Right.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I do believe that there is a level of frustration that some men have regarding their leadership
Mm-hmm.
and how they show up because they may not understand the influence or the impact that they have on people, and they may not have the tools, the skills, or the resources to be able to polish and refine those leadership skills. If you're on a job, if you're in your career, and if you're not taking advantage of a lot of the training opportunities that are available to you,
Yeah.
then you keep yourself at a level that is not as effective.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't have the opportunities at work, are there personal or other opportunities outside of your career that you should be taking advantage of to refine and hone your leadership skills, your communication skills, your all of those essential skills that could really make you impactful. I've heard so many people, so many men say, "Oh, I can just do it off the cuff," or "Oh, I can speak all the time." And I was like, "Okay." And then they get up there and start speaking, and I'm like, "Who are you speaking to?" And did you, or we're planning some kind of project, and they don't even put in the necessary project pieces to make sure that everything is covered. It's because they're just doing it off the fly.
Got you.
And I believe this is a responsibility of ours to always be learning and always be growing, always be developing. Because it's like being an athlete.
Yeah.
It really is.
Right.
It's what you're doing, not in the game, but it's what you're doing to prepare for the game.
That's right.
So you don't have to get ready because you're already ready, because you've already been honing your skills. You've been training. You've been developing. You've been equipping yourself in these various training grounds and spaces that you need to be, so that when you do have to go in and you have to hit that 3-pointer or whatever, you're equipped and ready to do it.
Every time.
Every single time. But we just think we just go to work and we just show up however we want to show up, or we show up with our families however we want to show up, without it being intentional,
Right.
without it being purposeful. And then we get frustrated when things don't go the way that we think they should be going, when we haven't prepared ourselves.
So how do what are some practical ways I can get intentional
I knew you were going to say that.
at home with my family? Where do I start?
Yeah.
Right. Because it's a lot.
It is a lot.
Leading a family is a lot. For brothers who have, you feeling that weight, we all feel that weight, right? Leading a family is not a easy thing to do. So what are some practical ways we can do that?
There are several different ways, but I would say 3 words that I think is so important. And you all have heard me say this over and over again. Consistency and discipline are 2 words. And then the 3rd word is modeling.
Okay.
Consistency is more than just doing it one time.
Yeah.
Discipline is more than just saying, all right, I think we're ready to have a family meeting, but we don't even know what the agenda is. We're just showing up just like, that's not being disciplined. Discipline is making sure that you are prepared and ready to go.
Right.
And then modeling is like, okay, so you've seen me do it.
Yeah.
I've helped you to do it. Now you can do it.
Right.
That's what that looks like.
Right.
And so for us, the Family Goal Planning Guide and Workbook is really important.
Okay.
So we have literally been doing this Family Goal Planning Guide and Workbook probably for the last 10 to 15 years.
Wow. That's great.
Every month, to make sure that we're moving the agenda forward. And so you say, so what do I talk about on a monthly basis as a leader in my home?
Yeah.
You talk about faith, where you guys are there, and how everybody is doing in their faith, and how you're challenging them in their faith, and how do you help them be equipped for their faith. You talk about your family. Where are you guys showing up? What's your rhythms? What's your daily rhythms that are helping you all to become the family that God has challenged you or designed you to be? You talk about your future. So what are the aspirations and the goals and dreams that you're going to help people to get to where they need to be?
Okay.
Then you're going to talk about your finances. Are you stewarding those finances well? What does that look like? Even with your kids,
Mm-hmm.
are they stewarding those finances well? And then in your fitness, do you have a daily regimen other than eating cookies on the sofa, watching TV?
I can't eat them in the kitchen.
You can eat them after you go work out, right? Okay. You can do that.
Yeah.
And then your fun, having some fun. What are we going to do as a family either this month, next month? What are those rhythms? I know you have a really good rhythm with your son and with your daughter now,
Yeah, man.
but those are things that you are establishing
Right.
with them that's going to be legacy driven,
Yes.
Yeah.
which is absolutely what. If you just concentrated on those 6 core areas every month and you showed up as a dad, as a husband, as a leader to say, we're going to do it. I, as the dad,
Yeah.
I'm going to initiate the conversation.
Yep.
And I'm going to be consistent and disciplined in those areas to actually walk through what we need to do on a monthly basis to make that happen. You will literally see the transformation of your family. They're waiting for you to model.
Yeah.
They're waiting for you to show up. They're waiting for your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They really, really are. So even with me, for both of my sons don't live with me anymore. So I established a rhythm of Father Fridays. I call them every single Friday.
Yeah.
Whether they pick up or not, but I feel like I need to pursue them because God pursues me. He's my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so he pursues me,
I like
not
that.
just because I'm an adult that
Right.
all of that should quit. He said, you got it now. You're good. No, I'm going to always pursue my sons.
Yeah.
Always pursue my sons.
That's good.
So I'm going to call them every Friday just to check in. 1 is to tell them how much I love them. 2, to tell them how proud I am of them. 3, to tell them to represent who God is and represent our family. And then 4, I just want to say I love you. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't have to do nothing else but that.
Mm-hmm.
And when there's an expectation out there and I'm modeling that, then they start to do some of the same things in their lives.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are just a few practical
Sure.
ways.
And I think the thing that's important you have to do it based off what is reasonable for you,
There you
in
go.
your space.
Right.
Right. There may be seasons where you're extremely busy or maybe things are extremely challenging. The whole idea behind, I don't mean to speak for them, but my wife and I have worked through this. I know you guys have worked through it as well. The goal planning book, what it does is it gives you kind of a map to say, all right, we're in Georgia. We're trying to go to Chicago. I need to get on 75. Then I need to get on 65. Then I think it's 24 from Chicago. So I should know this, right? But it's knowing where your destination is. And so that might look like in 2026, you get on 75 and you make it to 24. That's what it is. And you make it to 24, which is around Louisville. You make it there. You still going to Chicago, but you may not get to Chicago this year. But you know what? You're further than what you were when you first started. And that's the idea, right? Is we always want to be growing, always want to be progressing. I think you talk about it, leaders are always learning. Leaders always growing, always looking to get better as a leader. And that's what you want to model with those 6 areas. So pick 1 or 2 things. If this feels overwhelming, 1 or 2 things in each of those 6 areas that he mentioned and say, this is what we're going to focus on as a family. And then next year, maybe it's 4 things. And the year after that, it's 6. And you can just continue to see things just really grow and blossom. And I'm telling you, you'll be amazed at how much of an impact it will have on your family.
Yeah. And I think the key is just being mindful of trying to set a mark for yourself to become holistic.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, you live by example. The others see it.
Yeah.
And then they fall in line. So, as you mentioned with future, fitness, family, fun, finance,
And faith.
Yep.
If you have a handle or at least a hand in each of those things, it's just amazing to see how your family legacy develops.
Yeah.
Right. And it's that simple. Like you said, the discipline and the consistency, doing it now. Now, look, I got 4 children. Grant me some grace. We might have maybe about 3 of the F's. We're working on the other 3, but we're mindful, right? We are intentional
Yeah.
in terms of making sure that we pay attention to those spaces, and then allowing our children to know what that looks like.
But I think even with, like, when I've been challenged as well, right, with the 6, just the fact that I have that roadmap, right?
Yeah.
I know, okay, hey, we stopped at the hotel, we had a flat tire, whatever may have happened to the vehicle,
Yep.
I still know I'm going to Chicago,
I like that, man.
right? So
Yeah.
once I get the tire changed out, once we get the kids together and everybody
Yes.
back in the car, I know where I'm going.
Because life is still gonna happen.
Life is still going to happen.
It's not gonna quit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But I don't want life to happen to us. I want us to make life happen.
Yes. We want to happen to life. That's it.
Right.
And so many people are just letting life happen to
Gotcha.
them.
Yes. Yes.
They are. And I guarantee you, I mean, just 100% that when you establish that consistency and discipline, those rhythms and those habits, and when you start modeling, I guarantee you your capacity increases. When you get that quiet time that you need and you do it on a consistent basis and be empowered to do it, I can guarantee you will be amazed at what the Holy Spirit will accomplish on your behalf, increasing your capacity
Yeah.
to be effective. And again, the things that I do, there are so many things I do in the dark, meaning that I'm preparing, refining myself, growing and developing, really helps me to show up well when I really need to,
Yeah.
whatever that looks like.
Yeah. That's good, man.
Yeah.
I actually saw an episode. I don't know if y'all seen it. Off season, where it talks about. I think they're all NFL athletes.
Oh, that's good. Off
Yeah,
season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
and how
Okay,
they
so they're going
prepare-
for it. God.
Yeah, how they prepare for the upcoming season.
Wow.
In the off season.
Wow.
And so George Kittle, he's the tight end for San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
He said that he built, and I won't go down a rabbit hole, but he built a facility for himself and others in the off season to prepare
Come
for
on.
the season.
Wow.
And guess what? He doesn't have to go out to the trainers. He sends the trainers to him because they have everything that they need
In the facility.
in the facility.
So he built his own facility.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a great challenge. And so the challenge that I have is like, what facility are you building yourself then?
Right.
Yeah.
So that you can have everything that you need
Yes.
in order in the off season so
Yeah.
that you can
Yeah.
be ready.
Right. To
Facility.
be a
How you
leader, to
build
be
it.
your
What
best.
facility are you building?
Church doors are open.
Come on now.
Close it down
Yeah.
on that. What
That's right.
facility? I love that though, because it's like you said, the facility, everything he needs is in the facility.
Mm-hmm.
So have you identified what are the things that you need?
Right.
And then have you identified how do you arrange
Yes.
your environment to where everything that you need is present?
Right.
For you to be all that God has called you to be.
Mm.
Listen, we hope you guys have enjoyed the conversation on leadership. We want you to continue to just tune in. Drop some comments on
Please.
just how you lead, or
Right.
what are some areas that are challenging for you, or if there's something you want to hear us specifically talk about in regards to leadership, or even in those 6 core areas that Carlos mentioned: faith, family, fun, fitness, family, and
Finance.
Where it's faith, family,
Faith,
finance,
family.
fitness, future, and fun.
I know I'll say something. You gonna act like I didn't say. I said, if it's one of those areas you want us to dive deeper into, drop that in the comments,
Yeah.
and then we'll take some time to actually dig into that and be a little bit more practical in some of those areas. Any closing thoughts, fellas?
Man.
I think
Go ahead.
I only
You got it.
have one closing thought. Great friend of ours,
Mhm.
right? Dave Rhodes.
Yeah.
He said he has one statement that he says about leadership that I thought was amazing. He said, regarding leadership, he said, impact, I wrote it down, make sure I wouldn't forget it. Impact is what happens when you're in the room. Influence is what happens when you leave the room, which
That's
I
good.
thought was really good.
Yeah.
So are you leaving the kind of impact and influence that you need to
Yeah.
on the people that you are leading?
That's good.
Family, or your career, all
Right.
of that. So
Right.
Love it.
No, I really don't have anything, man. I think
I said it all.
Yeah, right,
All
right.
right.
No, this has been good.
Well,
I
we'll
like
see you guys next week. And as you're out going through your week, make sure that you take the time to
go out
Go out.
and encourage another
Another brother.
brother. Peace.